Yannis, Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the day long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and it's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid screwed in, got a lot to say. Oh shit, it's about to be a long day. It's a long
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Yannis Pappas Hour on post-Liberation Day. All the slaves are free, and women can vote, and everyone has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of how you're going to be able to afford eggs. Liberation Day has been, I think, branded twice. I guess the first Liberation Day was when Donald Trump was elected into office, and now he has officially branded the tariffs going into effect day as Liberation Day. So we have now slapped 10% tariffs on all imports. On top of, it seems, different percent tariffs on different countries, with China getting hit pretty hard. I think, was it a 60, 40, 60, 50?
36.
36%, which maybe if you add the 10%, I guess that's 46%. I'm no percent guy, but it's almost half. So the tariff war has started, and the pie's in the oven. The pie's in the oven, the American pie's in the oven, and we're waiting to see what happens. Some people are saying this is going to be devastation, and by some people, I say most people, but very few believers, and I think those people tend to be just the biggest Donald Trump supporters, are saying this is going to be amazing. And I think one or two very good economists are saying this is going to be good, right? And I think it's going to be good. Or I think it's going to be bad. I don't know. My instincts say that if we're going to do something this radical, I think maybe what you want to do is prepare. You want to get things prepped. You want to get a little media campaign out there going, hey, most of you on TikTok, we're going to need you to start delivering pizzas. We're going to need you to start being nannies. We're going to need you to start figuring out how to put little microchips into semiconductors. We're going to get a lot of you into school and get you prepared to do what, unfortunately, the Vietnamese are ready to do right now. Or the Chinese, or, hey, guys, we're going to need you to not go to the Chinese buffet, because we're exporting all the people who are here on visas or whatever. We're going to kidnap them off universities because they said something bad about Israel and they're gone. And we are going to need you to learn how to suffer a little bit. Suffer just like the Chinese. Is that possible? Can you go from 6 slices to 2? I'll answer that question. I cannot, Mr. President. We're going to need you to keep that iPhone for 10 years and not 2. I'm going to say, I cannot do it, Mr. President. I need the next fucking camera. What's the next camera going to do? Shoot slow motion? I need it. I need it. I cannot do it, Mr. President. He goes, okay, that's fine, because you bullshit for a living and you go on stage and you talk to people and you make them laugh. You're okay. But for everybody else, it's time to get back to work. But this is, you got to prepare. You got to ease people into this. You got to ease them into them. You got to or maybe you just rip the Band-Aid off. It's like when you break up. You break up like a man or you break up like a woman. This is more of a man breakup. Just rip it off. I'm leaving you. Your breath stinks and I don't like it. I'm having an affair with another woman. This marriage is over. I'm leaving you. I'll see you in court. There's no prenup, but prepare to suffer, because I can afford a high-priced attorney and you can't, because I don't have to court order give you nothing right now. So take your little Libby pro bono lawyer and good luck, ladies, because I got what you call ready to fucking fight. Means a good lawyer. Or do you break up the way a woman breaks up? I'm starting to, not now, I'm not in the mood. Not tonight? You weren't in the mood last week. No, something's weird. Something's off. I've been thinking about my career. Been thinking about my life. Okay, well, let's talk about it and fix it. Okay, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Okay, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Okay, we'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Meanwhile, she's dating other guys. She finds another guy, and then she says, it's time for me to leave you. It's not you, it's me. I need new things. I just decided I don't want to have kids. And she leaves out the with you part. And she's already pregnant with the new guy. Or do you do it that way? Since I'm more of a female, I would think we would have done it that way. Prep the American people. Get the job training programs back, you know? Dominoes, delivery, get ready. Cleaners, get them ready. Start teaching factory work at schools. Start, putting some expectations on your consumer habits, because prices are about to go up on Amazon because everything is made in China. It's made in China land. It's made there. So now we got big tariffs on that stuff. So you can't just hop on Amazon and get a piece of plastic for cheap anymore. That piece of plastic is worth it. So if you need it, make sure you need it. Also, things that are on the shelf now will be gone tomorrow. There's going to be a panic. Toilet paper, I hope it's made in the United States. Please, God. But I don't need to worry about that. I got a bidet, and I got plenty of rags I can clean. I got plenty of washcloths I can clean. You know, shit stains stay, but smells go away. Remember that. Hopefully toilet paper is not made in China. I don't know. But things like this, hold on to the one you bought.
What is that?
Made in China. Hold on to the one you bought. It's a little thingy that you don't need, but makes your life a little more convenient.
What is that, an iPhone holder?
You just put your iPhone in it. Just be prepared that you're going to be doing a little bit of this, maybe a little less of this and a little more faucet drinking. Who knows where this plastic's made? You know, if you got a company called Bespoke Post, which is not promoted, fuck them. They haven't given me money in a long time. And you get something that you don't even know what it is. It opens and closes, and you can put stuff on it, and you can pay for it with disposable income because it's very cheap. Say goodbye to these little puppies. You're going to say hello to these because PCB Tech Arts mom makes these. But say goodbye to these. I don't know what it is. It's a little shit that we've been selling and buying to each other. Whatever it is, I assume. Now, this is a little sturdier, maybe made in the good old USA. But we're going to be going back to longevity. Remember your dad had his favorite TV? Do we have an American TV company? Thank God I bought this. Oh, God. Now the Samsungs are going to be worth something again, so people are going to start breaking into houses again.
Uh-oh.
Right? Because they're going to want the Samsungs, the LGs, the Sonys. Because do we even have an American TV? Do we have a Buick TV? Do we have an American TV? Just if you got a Canon camera, hold it, polish it, dust it, clean it every night. It's gonna have to go long haul. But the problem is all these things are made to self-destruct. So you know what Korea's gonna do on the Samsungs? Pull the plug. They're gonna pull the plug on every TV. Do we have anything that's not a Japanese or South Korean TV? Because they got slapped with tariffs as well. And the tariffs are big. So it comes down to that. Is this going to be a disaster or is this going to be good? What nobody disagrees on is this is going to be a little bit of a painful transition in the interim. We got Element Electronics out of South Carolina. They assemble some TVs in Winnsboro, South Carolina, using imported parts. Damn it! Damn it! You got Silo Digital in in California, which also use overseas components. You got Sierra in Wisconsin. They specialize in luxury mirror and outdoor TVs, and they also have imported components. And that's it. So don't use your TV a lot. Use it a little. In fact, this is a great way to cut down on your kids' screen time by just saying, we're about to enter a little bit of an electronic sort of depression where our products have to last a little bit. Canada and Mexico, for now, have been spared the tariffs. The list has come out this week. You've all heard about it. You all know it's happening. And Donald Trump and his advisors and his economic team believe that getting rid of tariffs is the worst decision that America has ever made. Ronald Reagan begs to differ. Republicans are for tariffs. Now, Republicans, I don't know. This is some people are for free trade, no tariffs. So Jesse was going, the best that can happen is who blinks first. And, because these tariffs are not happening in a vacuum. So the other countries are expected to retaliate. Already, South Korea, Japan, and China have strengthened their trade agreements in retaliation and preparation for the tariffs coming from America. So we're sort of pushing our allies into China's hands economically. So that seems like it could be bad. But it also, supposedly, I'm told, is going to be good in 50 years. So I'm told, just hold on for 50 years and this will be fine. So Trump gave a speech and he said the Great Depression would have never happened if the U.S. had not discontinued tariffs. So what happened was the U.S. had some tariffs, discontinued tariffs. The Great Depression happened. And then, what was it? Holy Smoot?
Smoot-Hawley.
Smoot-Hawley or Holy?
Hawley.
Smoot-Hawley enacted in 1913, tariffs again. And most historians and economists will say that worsened the Great Depression, the tariffs. But Trump is saying that the removing the tariffs and beginning the income tax is what caused the Great Depression. The income tax started in 1913, the federal income tax. States had certain taxes that they gave some sort of income tax, and it varied. Of course, empires and countries have been collecting income tax since the beginning of civilization, but America didn't have a federal income tax until 1913. And Trump is saying that income tax is what caused the Great Depression, because before we didn't have an income tax and we had tariffs, and the government just lived off of tariffs. They got their money from tariffs, not income tax. But I assume that goods were taxed, right? So if you went to the store, did you pay a tax if you bought something?
It looks like there was there was property taxes, sales tax, but this was all implemented by the state.
It was all state. Poll taxes, corporate and business taxes, and state income taxes. And Wisconsin was the first state to implement the modern state income tax in 1911, even before the federal income tax in 1913. Some other states had temporary income taxes during times of war or financial crisis. So, for example, there was an income tax, a federal income tax during the Civil War to help fund the war effort. But then it was revoked. And at that time, only the wealthiest Americans had to pay taxes with a rate that started at 1%, which seems pretty sweet, and a maximum of 7%, which seems pretty sweet compared to the 30, 40, 50, 60% that nobody pays 60, right?
No, we're paying around 50.
Around 50.
When you put everything together, sales tax, income tax.
You're getting taxed all around the board. You're getting banged out. Over time, tax rates and policies have obviously increased significantly. So yeah, we got to do something, right? Maybe if you're going to tax the income, don't tax the goods. If you're going to tax the goods, maybe don't tax the incomes. If you're going to tax the property, don't tax the property. Or you make taxes elective. Like, you want to get in? This is for the school. You want to live here? Tax for the school. You want to get in? This is for the garbage. Everyone agrees. Something like that. Or, if you want to pay income tax, you get free rub downs. You want to get in on that? You want to get in on a little susu for rub downs?
Yeah.
Once a month? I said rub downs. I didn't say rub outs. Just a massage, stress, meditation practice. You want to do yoga? Something. You want government pizza? Whatever. You pay everyone, but I don't know. I'm no financial expert. But things have changed, and that's what he's claiming. So it's very possible that he's saying something radical because everyone else was just too scared to say that the income tax was bad and maybe the income tax caused the Great Depression. Who knows? I don't know. But other people are saying that the tariffs before, what was the Great Depression? What is the common consensus on what caused the Great Depression? Now, we all have heard, we've all been to school, we've all studied the Great Depression and the stock market crash in 1929. It was, of course, called Black Tuesday. So the stock market crashed, wiped out billions of dollars in wealth, and speculative investing and buying stocks on margin, which is borrowed money, obviously, led to an unstable bubble that bust. So we're always scared about these unstable bubbles. What's this unstable bubble? I'll give you one. NFTs. Unstable bubble, okay? Crypto, a little bit of an unstable bubble. Whether you believe in it or not, it does swing pretty hard. Warren Buffett says he'll never invest. He still continues to rail against crypto no matter what. Trump is bullish on crypto. But Warren Buffett still says it's nothing. It's made of nothing. It's a scam. He's still sticking to that, even though I'm bullish on Retardio, which is a coin. Retardio coin. I'm bullish on that one. So the crash happened, and then, of course, there was a run on the banks. Now everyone understands what happens when everyone takes their money out. The banks don't have money to loan to other people, and the whole economy goes bye-bye. So 9,000 banks failed because they couldn't lend money out. They went out of business. So basically, banks are a business. They're they're loan sharks, and they went out of business. And when they went out of business, people's monies in savings was lost. It was all gone. So with the banks failing and stock values plummeting, people just got scared and stopped spending money. They started holding on to money. Businesses cut. It was what you call a chain reaction, right? So businesses cut production. There was massive layoffs because people weren't buying, and production was down because people weren't buying. So it was just a chain reaction. Then there was an act of God, the Dust Bowl, in the Great Plains in the 1930s, which destroyed farms and led to food shortages. So this was just like a whammy on top of a whammy on top of a whammy on top of a whammy. That's why I've never really been that scared about another depression, because we've had recessions, but the Great Depression was really caused by a multiple of whammies, right? Because that doesn't help. You know, a food shortage ain't good. So thousands of farmers lost all their land and moved west. And that was a big migration to California because the fucking land, the environment just fucking was not conducive. We had dust bowls. Everything got dry. So the Fed tightened the money supply, making it harder to borrow and spend. So instead of stimulating the economy, this worsened deflation and slowed recovery. So inflation stuck around for a little while. So before the crash, wealth was concentrated in a small group, which it is now, scary, while most Americans lived on credit, which is very similar to it is again now. We managed to build up a nice middle class after the Depression and before the tech revolution, right? We built up a nice middle class, no?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of that also, we lost a lot of guys. We lost a lot of men from some wars. So that made opportunities rise. You know, it's supply and demand. You know, my dad got into law school not because he was a genius, but because it was after the World War II and then the Korean War. We lost a lot of boys. So there were slots. There were slots available. It wasn't as competitive. Just like when they bought their house for $28,000. Wasn't as competitive. Population was lower. So then, obviously, everyone knows, or history will say, that FDR and his New Deal program pulled us out of it and stabilized the economy. And then, like I just mentioned, World War II happened after that, and nothing gets you out of a good depression by lowering the population, because that's less mouth to feed. Unfortunately, it's a dirty little secret. And also, it stimulates the economy because production kicks in. There's a demand to kill other people who don't speak your language. So industrial demand shot up. So we started making shit. And then when that demand starts, we got all these weapons, we got that. And then we just became a weapons maker. And we just kept selling it to other people who want to have conflict for profit. And it's what it is. The weapons industry is one of our most bullish industries. And I assume in large part it started in World War II. We needed something to pull us out. And that's why World War II was started. We created Nazism. We created the theory about the conspiracy against the Jews. America is behind everything just for money. That's my theory now. I want to do a hot take.
Oh, okay.
Everyone blames the Jews, but you know what? America created. Everyone always assumes we're serving Israel. Some little countries controlling us? No, we created the whole thing in World War II to stimulate the economy. And we said, all right, whatever. We need a scapegoat, get them angry. Boom, who's going to start the war? We looked at the people who would start war, the most warlike people, Germany, World War I, sacking Rome. These animals have been doing this for centuries, right? Chris Stefano's ancestors are animals. They can't stop warring. They don't have hearts. They don't have souls. They're not warm-blooded Europeans from the South. They can't dance. You ever see Germans dance? They don't have souls. So America, the deep state here said, we picked the Germans to instigate. We'll create the circumstances by squeezing them in World War I. We'll have to sacrifice a couple of Jews. And we did that because the Christians hate Jews. It's anti-Semitic. So boom, perfect. Set the war in motion just so we could lift ourselves out of a depression by creating a war machine and cutting a little bit off the top of the male population to go to war, so there's less of a pressure. It's less people to feed. It's my theory. It's my theory. So the Jews didn't cause the war. American WASPs did. And I think they always do, because American WASPs are essentially Germanic, and the problems... Who's been ruling the world before now the Chinese are ruling them? They're the new WASPs. Everyone call they're not the new Jews, they're the new WASPs. Who's been the most successful at ruining the world? They invaded Rome, and then they started ruling Rome for another fucking couple hundred centuries, and then they founded Germany, all these countries, Austria, Hungary, all these freaking things. They interbred with these Slavs and these things, but it's German blood. The palest of us, as my Israelite brothers tell me, are the most warlike and leper people. They have leprosy and they're warlike. So I'm with my black brothers. I'm with my Latin brothers. I'm with my Mexican brothers. I'm with my Muslim brothers. I'm with my Jewish brothers. We need a new scapegoat, and it's the WASPs. It's the WASPs that created World War II and created the Holocaust. American WASPs. What do you know about wasps? They're in your house. They sting. They're no good. Okay? Wasps. You heard it here first on the Alex Jones program. That's where you heard it. And so that's my theory. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. So that's where we are, right? Who killed Kennedy? Everyone's going, who killed Kennedy? Well, who hated Catholics the most? Who hated Catholics the most? They won't tell you this, but I'll tell you who. WASPs. When they came to this country, they called Italians what? WAPs. What did that mean? Without papers. It's an acronym for without papers. They hated them. They hated the Italians. They were discriminated against for good reason. I don't like Italians either. I love Italians. I don't like, I love. I love everyone. And I love WASPs too. If you give me a job, I'll stop talking about this right away. But Candace Owens got it all wrong. It's the WASPs. who are behind everything. They've been the powerful. What's the British Empire? Wasps. What's the Austro-Hungarian Empire? Wasps. Where did World War I start? Right? See what I'm saying? Who started it? Germans. Who started American? American Germans. The biggest immigrant group in America. White Anglo-Saxon Protestants. Who sacked Rome and killed the greatest civilization known to man? Wasps. What became wasps? Germanic, pale, fumeless people. So, which Donald Trump is one of. So that's what makes me skeptical. So what's going to happen? What is going to happen? What's the deal? What has gone to happen? Well, China gets a 34% tax. The taxes are not, there's a 10% import tax, right? To import something, there's a flat for everyone, but there's additional taxes on specific companies. So everyone's paying the 10, whether you're Israel, which Israel just said, we're dropping our taxes. No more taxes. We play ball. Send the weapons. Send the weapons. We are dropping the taxes in Israel. So Israel has dropped its tariffs on the United States, which is friendly. It's a friendly move, right? They gave in. They said, you're the boss. They said, yeah, boss. Mexico and Canada, 10%. Israel, 10%. Every one of our friends is paying 10%. But certain countries are getting hit a little harder. China, 34%. European Union, our friend, or used to be our friend. We're also pulling out of NATO, I believe. And they're already planning to keep it going without us. They're all making plans. Germany's thinking about arming up. Japan's thinking about arming up. He's really sending an isolationist message. Now, some would say, okay, is he trying to turn back to the clock into a world like the 1850s, 1890s? Does that world not exist anymore because we're so economically interdependent? That's an argument you could make. Is this an antiquated remedy that could never work because we're so interdependent now? That's an argument that you could make. Or will this raise enough money, $1 trillion in tariffs, $1 trillion in fraud, $1 trillion in abuse, $1 trillion from something cut that the people don't want to cut, and we pay back the deficit, right? Is that the goal?
Yeah, it's cut $1 trillion in fraud, waste, and abuse, right?
Wait, so fraud?
Right. So
waste and abuse.
Abuse, that's $1 trillion.
Trillion.
That's Musk's job with Doge.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Lutnick's job is to raise $1 trillion through tariffs because we have a $4 trillion budget, but we spend $6 trillion. So
but in preparation for how the farmers are going to suffer, you got to do what? $21 billion in aid there?
Yeah,
additional?
Throw them a couple of bills.
So let me just tape that back on.
Yeah, put that back on.
Yeah, when everyone goes on government assistance and there's bread lines, got to put that back on. Maybe. Got to put that back on. When we keep buying weapons for war, got to put that back on.
We buy it. No, we make them.
We make them, but we buy them from private companies, the government.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we got to put that back on. Tax dollars going to that. And unforeseen expenses.
Yeah.
Well, got to put that back on. Yeah.
Maybe.
Because he's also promising to cut taxes. So if you're cutting taxes, you're hoping to make that up in the tariffs. But if they go elsewhere, if they just go, all right, fuck you, we're just going to sell to Europe, or we'll reroute, or the company will move to Vietnam or whatever instead of coming to America. Because the thought is we're going to also convince people to come to the United States with their companies and make it here for the American worker and the American consumer, made right here in the USA. But what if they go, no, we don't trust the American worker because the American worker is 600 pounds and likes to play PlayStation. We're going to take it to the emerging market in Vietnam. Maybe.
They got no money over there.
They got no money, though. That's the problem. They got no consumer base. They just got slaves.
Exactly.
So is this bye-bye to the emerging markets like Vietnam?
That's what some people are saying. You know, we get our cheap goods. They get $1 a day.
This is a hard right turn. We're driving on a road. The whole world's driving on a road, and Trump got the wheel, and he's got a couple of fucking 6-packs in him, and he fucking went like that. It's a hard turn.
Well, no, he's been campaigning on this for 2 years.
He's been campaigning on it. That is true. So, the people who've been preparing the most are China. And China's going to look at his people and just go, time to suffer a little bit. There's 1 billion of us. Time to take a little bit off the top of the population in death and starvation. Or are these other countries just going to go, well, we're just going to kind of live without America, and we're going to start trading with Russia and India, and it just everyone's going to, because this is across the board.
Yeah.
So it's basically America versus the world. Who are our friends here?
They might just cook up another virus. Who knows?
Or they might cook up another virus, because if you remember, Trump tried to do this in 2018, and it did not go good. It did not overall do well for the economy. It didn't work overall, most people say. It worked a little bit for certain industries in the short term, but ultimately things didn't work. And there was too much. And then the virus came and made things worse. Is it a coincidence that his tariffs went into effect in 2018 and then a virus came in 2019? No, I'd say that's causality. It's causality. The thing that scares me is Jesse's biggest fear is a collapse of civilization. I haven't had that fear because everyone's making money with each other. Everyone's making money. Okay. At the end of the day, money speaks. Whenever anyone's talking their opinion or whatever, it's because they're making money off it. And if they're not making money off it, they're bona fide insane. They're just bona fide insane, right? So now you see a lot of comedians. That's a whole nother topic we'll get into. Everyone's talking these lofty issues now because on the internet, comedians have been pulled into these other worlds for the algorithm to invite more fans in to know about them. But a byproduct of that, a side effect of that, is now they're in these serious conversations where they have to say these serious things and be taken very seriously or whatnot. Because they've had Alex Joneses on, they've had Donald Trump's on, they've had J.D. Vance's on, they've had RFK Jr.'s on, they've had these people's on. And so that invites all these people who are not comedy fans in, who don't get it, and go, who's this guy saying this thing? And they'll say that because they're getting paid to say, who's this? Now, this guy's got enough clout that I can say something about him. And then people go, oh, he's a racist, he's a bigot, he's a whatever. And you're just pulled into this outside of the comedy world, which is with the internet. And internet is just a stew of worlds that are put together. And you're safest if you stay in your own world. Once you go out of your world to try to make your appeal bigger, you're going to someone else's fans, and those people like that person, and they don't know you. And if you slight that person, then they're going to hate you. That's a side tangent. But my original point was what? And that's why I didn't want to go on the side tangent. What was my original point? Fuck. My original point is that mustard is good on a hot dog, solo or with ketchup. But ketchup is better with mustard. That's my point.
Interesting.
Which is the way I see things. So it's America versus the world here.
You were talking about society collapse.
Society collapse. Thank you. So I never had that fear because everyone's making money together, right? Everyone knows underneath, right? They sit down, they go, I'm mad at you for this. I said this because you said that, and I want to know about this and that. But underlying, we all know we're running a scam on everyone who's listening. Nobody cares. Nobody really cares. They're all just thinking they need content to make money. That's what people are doing. I'm stirring something up. I'm being interesting and engaging because you need some. You have a consumer leisurely lifestyle where you're not in a factory 10 hours a day anymore. But you're in a car for an hour a day to go to whatever job you go to dream about being a podcaster, right? We know that. You're going to stock shelves, but you're dreaming about starting your own podcast. So you're listening to other podcasts, trying to pick up some tips. But in the meantime, that's driving eyeballs. Therefore, advertisers are going, there's the eyeballs. So we continue the bullshit. I care about this. And I care about what you said, but nobody cares about anything except their money. because money is tied to survival. So now Trump is fucking with people's money in a major way, dude. A major way, dude. The only people who are really happy about this, like I said, are fucking retards who follow Trump, who are like, buy the merch and shit like that. Those types who haven't even heard of the word tariff until now. They don't even know what it is, let alone a rudimentary understanding of geopolitics and international economics. Those people, only those people, and ideologues, dreamers, theory people are going like, this is because of these theories, this will work out. Idealists, we're gonna find $1 trillion in abuse here. This is gonna work perfectly. Retaliation, everything. Our plan is gonna work fully because we've thought of everything and it's gonna go fine. Those are the two groups of people who think that this is gonna work. And then you got people who are going to experience the reality starting a couple of days before you listen to this episode, right? When they go to the grocery store, shit is going to just not be as available as everyone right now is panicking, because that's what Americans do. They fucking panic. So Americans right now are panicking. Even Trump supporters are panicking. They're going to the supermarket going, I need those fucking last bananas, because where are the bananas made? They're made in fucking Brazil. Now they're more expensive, so I'm getting this last batch of cheaper bananas. Because that's how most Americans think. They think on a budget. So there's no question there's going to be a more financially responsible group of people that are flooding out right now. Not rich people, but financially responsible on their budget, flooding out right now to get those fucking Lucky Charms or whatever. And they're just getting them, right? Because the next batch of bananas is going to be 10% more, at least. But if you were getting your bananas from Indonesia, holy shit, it's going to be 42% more. Or if you were getting anything from Switzerland, thank God that we don't get much, just chocolate. But Switzerland got banged out with 31%. Thailand, lady boys are off the market. We're going good old USA cross-dresser. If you need your blowy, if you're a straight guy and you need your kink blowy, we're going back to guy in a wig. A Caucasian with a protruding forehead and gristle hair on his face.
I'm fooled.
No more smooth, hairless lady boy. Thailand is getting slapped with a 36% tax. So ain't no more lady boy. No more lady boy. South Korea, your fucking Samsung will now cost you 35% more. That's 25 plus the 10, right? Am I doing this right?
I think that's all in.
Is that all in?
I think, yeah, it's a 10% flat, right?
And then this is including the 10%?
That's my guess, yeah. So,
but we don't know. Can we find that out real
we don't know
quick?
for sure, but yeah, this looks like what the total of each country is going to pay. So,
U.S., so what does it say? U.S. tariff. So what? No, I think tariff charged to the U.S. So China has a 67% tariff on us. Fuck you, China. But we still do pretty good with that. Fuck you, China. Vietnam has a 90%? But is the reason they're doing that because they're trying to build their country up? So why would we do that to Vietnam? I can understand doing it to China. But why would you do it to Vietnam? They're doing it because their economy's shit and they're just trying to get it started and get people to buy shit there. So, I don't know. South Korea, they're a friend. They got a 50% tax on us, but they're not as rich as us.
some friend, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like having a poorer friend. You want him to pick up the tab too? You got to pick up the tab a little bit. You don't make the poor people play.
Yeah.
You want allegiance. You don't want to push it. If I'm your friend and I'm like, yeah, boss, I'm your yeah, boss guy because you're paying for my meals all the time, right? And you got a bunch of me around and I support everything you do. Yeah, boss, but I'm not the boss. I don't have the brains. I just got a smaller South Korean brain. No, it's a joke. I'm just saying I'm not as strong as you. Yeah. But you need guys around you because there's another guy like you out there whose name is Peng Tong. And so you want me, yeah, boss. You don't want me to start paying for meals. I can't.
Right.
So you say, hey, now it's time for you to pay meals. And either I'm going to go, Okay, boss, I guess I got to work a little harder even though I don't got it. Or this guy comes, hey, he sees an opportunity and he goes, 10% off. 10% off. Only 10%. Banana just so good. Same banana. Same banana. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but let me ask you this.
Are we pushing people into China's hands was what I'm trying to say.
But let me say, I'm the boss man, right?
You're not the boss man. You're Trump's spokesperson on this podcast.
No, but let's say this. I'm drowning in credit card debt and I owe my bookie 100 large.
You don't have to borrow from your real life.
No, I'm saying, right. So I've been buying you dinner all this time, but my credit card bill is really high right now.
Yeah.
And I owe a lot of money.
Yeah. Who's going to force America to pay?
That's a good question.
Who's going to force America to pay the fucking money back?
Come collect.
Come collect. We've always fucking run a deficit. What's the problem? We kick it down to the next person 4 years. Yeah. We chop a little off. We add a little back. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, who's going to go collect from John Gotti? Who gonna put John Gotti in prison? We are John Gotti. Who's going to? Oh, the mob owes you money.
No, you owe the mob money.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, okay, the mob owes you money.
Oh, yeah, right.
Go collect. Go collect.
Yeah.
Go collect. I mean, so this is where we are. We don't know what's going to happen. So either it's going to be, like I was saying, either the 25 if you're South Korea or the 35, or it's 25 all in. Hopefully it's 25, but that's still a 25% increase in the cost of your Samsung.
It depends, though, because Walmart is putting pressure on Chinese companies to eat the tariffs.
How are they going to do that?
They're saying if you want to sell in our stores, you got to eat 10% of these tariffs. So we'll see how it nets out.
Right. And China still wants to make money.
Yeah. So they might take that deal.
They might take the deal.
It depends.
Right. So they're just saying pay 10% of it. Wait, but they have to pay. Pay 10% of South Korea's tax? No,
China.
So
Walmart is telling China you have to pay 10% of these tariffs, the extra fee that these tariffs are.
But China has a 34% tariff.
So then Walmart maybe eats 10, and then the consumer eats 4.
You say China eats 10.
China eats 10.
But China used to eat 34.
No, I know. No, it's a 34% tariff.
So instead of the consumer, they're saying eat 10% of it. And we'll put a little bit on the consumer, so it'll be a 24% tax.
Right. Or they eat some of it.
So or Walmart eats some of it too.
Exactly.
Right. Because Walmart can afford to do that because Walmart hires special needs kids and they're just like not getting paid.
That's right.
Right. Yeah. And so they'll cut more workers to eat up. This is where the bad chain reaction happens, though. So we'll cut 10% of our force and make you check out yourself. It may accelerate what's already been happening, especially with AI coming. This may accelerate it. Companies may go, in order to cover the cost, we'll lay off people and hire AI robots and self-checkouts and things like that. And then you got unemployed people with no skills, because then you're dealing with the sociological aspect of this problem, which is just people living in fucking Royersford, Pennsylvania, who can't afford Soul Joel tickets anymore because they're out of a job at Walmart and they can't come see Yanni do it again out of loyalty. Who am I kidding? I need the gig. We're not at that place yet where I'm doing you a favor, Joel. It's still mutual beneficial. Still mutually beneficial, and it's one of my favorite clubs and the one I will always be most loyal to over anyone. Even though that's not the case now, I'll gladly take the money. Love Joel. But you get what I'm saying. The people coming to his shows, they ain't working at Apple and don't have much Apple stock. Mm-mm. They work at Wawa.
Yes.
So Wawa's got a lot of those food imports coming from all these countries, and they got to keep their prices low in order for people to continue to buy. So they're going to have to cut jobs, because this is all just numbers. People are going to take the human element out of it. Next thing you know, we got a Great Depression. Next thing you know, your foyer is stormed, which is what my show has always tried to help you avoid. Now, on the flip side of this, farmers are going to have to be subsidized, which Trump is preparing to do. This is what he campaigned on, guys. So why is everyone upset? Why are there so many Republicans upset? Why? Hasn't he been promising this? This isn't even as bad as people thought it was going to be. It's like he was talking about higher tariffs. This may now. Are they gonna fold, or are they gonna call? It's a game of poker right now. It's a game of poker. Who's got a poker face? He would not be a great poker player. He's not a great poker player. Obama was a great poker player. You never knew what that guy was fucking thinking. You didn't even know he was carpet bombing. You had no idea because he always had the same disposition. You didn't know whether he was up, whether he was down. He had a poker face. Aside from what you think about politics or policy or the actual productivity of the administration, you have to admit, as far as poker face goes, he had a great poker face. Trump has a horrible poker face. You say one thing, you make one insult, or you paint the painting of him that's not right, he's going to fly off the handle. He's going to tweet exactly what he's thinking. He's a riffer. He'll just say it. He's not worried about polish. He's not worried about perception. But I guess the ultimate goal or best case scenario for these enacted tariffs would be to get the other countries to fold, right? And lift their tariffs. And then Trump will say, okay, we're lifting our tariffs, right?
That's one scenario, sure.
That's one. Okay, so that's one best case scenario. Now, the other best case scenario would be?
You onshore manufacturing, jobs for Americans, all those people that work in Walmart can now work in some sort of factory. That's another scenario.
How fast does it take to get these factories up and running?
Good question.
Takes a couple of years?
I would say.
So for a couple of years, there's going to be what?
Storming foyers. No, who knows? I don't know. That's one scenario, right?
Are you going to have to dole out aid when all these people start getting laid off?
Yeah, unemployment benefits. And the other scenario is, did you mention that they might drop their tariffs? So then there's a...
Well, that's what I said. The
Yeah,
best case scenario, that would be the... To me, that seems like the best case scenario.
Right.
So they would not call and they would fold in the poker game.
Or
they would go, you know what? Your market is too valuable to us. And so we're going to stop the bullshit. China goes, we'll stop the bullshit, and we're going to let American products in and let it compete with Chinese products, whatever.
Right.
And then what he'd do is, obviously, he would secretly, he'd get on the bat line and, you know, on the secret Chinese CCP app and tell every citizen, just don't buy it.
that could be.
Yeah. I'm giving you an idea, Prince Z, giving you an idea just to thwart off major, like, global panic. Just because if you fold, then he's going to go easier on the rest of them because he's an ego guy. Are you listening to me? I know I'm huge. I'm huge in Beijing, by the way. I know I'm huge. But this is a good plan. It's a good plan. It's really about China. If China folds, right, then every other country will go, okay, we still need a little bit of a tariff because our economy needs to be able to compete with your products. We're just an emerging market. Please, Trump. And if they beg, he likes that because you got to play to his ego. And if China folds verbally, he's a big hero. See, and he loves himself. He jerks himself off. He sucks his own dick. He does all the things that is the way he's built. He's very easy to read. But then you go on your private app and you say, just don't buy the product. Don't buy the product. Or if you're a retailer, sell it for a higher price without telling anybody. Not a tariff. Just bump it up. You know, give favorable treatment to the fucking one with the Chinese writing on it. That's all. So you continue to rip us off and build your empire that inevitably will crumble our empire because I do believe gray aliens are Chinese from the future. And I do believe it's because they wiped us out and then all of humanity looked Chinese and then they evolved and they're just future Chinese traveling back from the future and they evolved to be even more hairless, a little shorter and on computers. And they're time traveling back to visit us to just look on their work. It's like watching, they love it. And that's why there's so many sightings now because they know this is the turn point where China takes over and just becomes, we all become Chinese because they execute everyone who doesn't look Chinese. Because they believe they're the superior race right now. And they have a lot of evidence. I mean, when you go to all the Ivy Leagues, there's a lot of evidence. Everyone talks about athleticism or fucking, I mean, does that matter? People playing games. It's all about here. And who's winning that? By a landslide in every country that they go to. So, yeah, gray aliens are Chinese from the past. You do with that fact what you want. We're up in the stakes here at the show with me asserting things that are almost definitely not true, but very entertaining. Because I want to get in the running with these guys. I want to get in the running with the big dogs. Yeah. I want to get in running with the guys who get in trouble. I want you people to start taking seriously what I'm saying. I want to lose this comedic cadence and really lose the comedy in my eyes and my energy. And I really want to come at you Dave Rubin style. Just talentless. Just serious. I want to come at you journalist style. Because journalists just talk. If anything's proved how easy a journalist's job is, it's been this last 5 years. I mean, has there been another job that's been completely usurped by people who are on reality shows and with high school educations? It's been journalists. No job has been shown to be as worthless as journalism. All you got to do is ask questions, you know? That's all you got to do. And you're a journalist. So I don't even know what the Columbia and all that is for, going to Columbia to journalism school. I guess they teach you morals or whatever, stick to the truth, but, you know, it's an easy job. It's an easy job. Oh, that guy's good at answering. I mean, in retrospect, I mean, how good was Charlie Rose? You know, he's just a guy asking questions. Like I am, a serious, earnest truth teller, a soothsayer up here, predicting a lot of things like my brother-in-arms, Alex Jones, to let you know that the future Chinese are coming to take our guns away and our freedom and our liberty and all that. But in the present moment right now, although fate is sealed with the Chinese taking over, evinced by the future Chinese gray aliens, so we know what happens. We know the story ends. But right now, we still got to make content for today and make it uncertain. What's going to happen? We know what's going to happen, but what's going to happen? Will this work? Will this work? Will jobs come back to America because they don't want to pay the tariff? That's what it comes down to. These multinationals going, we don't want to import the stuff. We just want it to be domestic because your market is too valuable. So everything's coming back here. Or are they going to go, okay, we're losing America. Time for a little haircut. We'll lay some people off because they're Chinese and we're Chinese and we don't care. And we'll explore some other markets. And that'll also help our national security because we'll start building bases in these other countries as well. Vietnam, now you're under China's influence because America turned its back to you. They start a propaganda campaign. See what they did? Put a tariff. They're trying to crush you. We want your jam. We want your seaweed. We want your rats. We want your rat meat. We want your cockroaches meat. Whatever they eat over there, we want it. There's a market here for it. Bing Tao Hu. Look, we look the same. So we lose our influence. We lose our influence in the East, in the China Sea. We lose our influence. Does that happen? Or is our market too valuable for these countries and is a 34, 20%, 46%? Why did Vietnam get hit the hardest? Is that sort of a payback for Charlie?
Yeah, maybe.
Why are they hit harder than even China?
Maybe because they have a 90% tariff on our goods.
Right. They got a 90% on ours, and China had a 67, so we gave 34 in return. European Union had a 39, we gave them a 20 in return. India had a 52, we gave them a 26 in return.
It looks like it's just half. So it's just like half of whatever your country has on our country, you're getting a half of that as a tariff.
Which is even bad. In theory, now here's the thing. That's why I said it's people, it's theorists. It's people who believe in this are because in theory, if you're just thinking about this without all the complicated details of interdependent global economy, you're just going, this is fair, right? If in theory, in a perfect world, you're going, this is not even fair. You're still winning, right? But we don't know if it's going to play out that, like the great line in the movie State of Grace. It was just an idea. It had nothing to do with reality. We're going to find out. We're going to find out if economic parity is possible, if it even matters, if this will help America or hurt America. But there's no question about this fact. Over the next year or 2 or 3, prepare for some pain. I don't think anyone questions that. Prepare for some pain. Get a Ring camera. Take care of your Samsung. And then, in 400 to 600 years, when your great-great-grandkids are working the fields for Chinese overlords, then and maybe then, the American economy will be back in the black and our deficit will be 0. Hopefully. Or maybe in 10,000. You're optimistic. You don't know.
Who could tell?
Who can tell? Yeah, the stock market, we don't know how it's been the last couple of days when you listen to this, but it rallied and then it started, Amazon, it started getting bad.
Getting crushed in after hours right now.
It's getting crushed in after hours as of right now. I will see you next week. You will see this in a couple days. Hopefully we're all still in one piece. I'm sure we will be. God bless us. God bless the People's Republic of China. Want to give a shout out to forthefree.art, music in Hawaii, shows in Hawaii. Check out that site. Cool local artists from Hawaii if you love music. Check that out. Nate Linder. We got a new copy from Nate Linder. Our friend Nate Linder, social media manager, is excited to announce the launch of his new marketing agency, Indigo Labs. I love it. He recently quit his full-time corporate America job to pursue his marketing agency full-time. So he's got a company now, and I love it. He wants to give me a shout out for helping him get here. You're welcome, dude. We always support Nate Linder. Nate is focused on real business results like revenue and new customer acquisition, not just clicks. He's been killing it with healthcare and software companies. So hit him up at indigolabsagency.com. There you go. Marketing solutions backed by data and proven by impact. Rebels-Raiders.
Also new copy.
.com. After his last company shut down, he started over from scratch. No investors, no help, just him. The GOAT gang, which is just him. A 2020 laptop and an iPhone 11 Pro Max. He had no idea if it would work, but guess what? On February 26, Rebels-Raiders launched in just 4 days. Over 90%, 95% of inventory was gone. I believe that's true because he ran out of inventory, which is great. Within 3 weeks, he moved an entire 40-foot container, what usually takes brands 6 to 12 months, sold out in under a month. Now, he's completely sold out. But the summer restock is coming. He's got plate carriers, medical bags, rifle slings. What is that? All dropping soon in multicam and M81 Woodland camo. This guy's starting a militia, and that's great. In the meantime, grab a GOAT shirt, and anything with the word GOAT on it sends proceeds directly to a GOAT charity. He's here to offer great gear at good prices, but don't just take his word for it. Check out the hundreds of 5-star reviews already submitted. He was also awarded diamond level transparency and gold level authenticity by Judge.me, which is the independent review platform. He keeps his prices low by not paying himself because the end goal, buy a Lamborghini, light it on fire, just to prove how meaningless it all is. So visit rebels-raiders.com. Sign up for restock alerts and grab something before it disappears again. Suds Auto Spa in Bridgeville, south of Pittsburgh, 412-564-5033. Ceramic coatings, paint protection film, car capsule units. Storage assets are designed to keep your car dust-free and safe from impacts, mildew, even rodents, whatever. Give them a call at that number, info@sudsautospa.com. They will travel outside of Bridgeville, south of Pittsburgh. The bigger the job, the farther they will travel. And PCB Tech Art. They got the Power Nest, like you always know, because your phone shouldn't play hide and seek with your car's charger, and the Power Sphere. So go buy those right now. Support them at PCB Tech Art. That's for your car. Put your phone, and the Power Sphere makes your car smell good. So go to PCBTechArt.com, Yannis 10, all one word, for 10% off your purchase, and check them out, PCB Tech Art.